From a special place where chocolate is everything comes Hershey's Pot of Gold box chocolates. Almonds, caramels, and pecans nestled in beds of chocolate. Hershey's Pot of Gold.
No matter where you're going or what you're doing, the weather can affect you. This winter, rely on the experts. Nobody knows weather like we do. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, the snow that affected parts of the Northeast overnight is just about over, but you should still take extra precautions as you head out to work and school this morning. Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here in Weather Center. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Rick Griffin. We appreciate you tuning in. Well, it's partly sunny skies and well above average temperatures in store for most of the South today. Very spring-like. We'll have those details in just a moment. Let's start with Atlanta with a mostly to partly sunny spring-like Monday in store. Cleveland, mostly cloudy skies, a high today of around 40. Now bundle up in Boston, you'll reach the mid-30s. And in New York City, the snow's ending, followed by mostly overcast skies and a high near 40 degrees. And now with all the details on the Northeast, here's Vivian.
Well, thanks, Rick. And speaking of overcast skies, a look at our latest satellite picture of the northeastern quadrant. And we are watching that area of low pressure slowly move away, but the broad canopy of clouds and still some left back along the coastal areas here, and we still have reports of snow. The New York City area, just south and east of Poughkeepsie near the White Plains vicinity, northern New Jersey, Trenton, Teterboro, still reporting some snow this morning. It is slowly coming to an end, but you can see across the Long Island Sound for Nassau and Suffolk County, be careful, a little slushy this morning. The Long Island Expressway could be a little messy, so bear that in mind. Of course, we've been watching this system the last 24 hours. Perhaps it could have been a stronger system, but this morning we're just left with a couple of inches, and what has fallen already could very well melt later today once the sun comes back out. And of course, we've had team coverage of the storm. Our very own Jim Cantori, he's in Elmsford, New York, and he joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Vivian. You kind of brought a tear to my eye there when you talked about the snow melting as quick as it came. But really, that's been kind of a culmination of this winter, really, where we just haven't had a lot of robust storms. Everything's been kind of nickel and dime, and that's exactly what we've got here. And even this one, for the most part, was a little bit of a disappointment for the snow lover and for those that make a living plowing. I mean, it's kind of amazing, even with the couple inches of snow that fell, how many plows have been out. I mean, you know, this is, in a lot of cases, folks' livelihood, so they got to get out and do what they can here. Let me take our storm cam shot. You can see the Westchester County Expressway and how things are moving along this morning. Things, again, are pretty fine. As you can see, wet roads, headlights on, that's pretty much the rule. The problems that you're going to have are getting out of your driveway and getting off the street that you live on, but once you get to the main thoroughfare, or even a major thoroughfare like we have here, you are fine. It's just pretty much wet roads and high volume as we head in for a Monday morning rush hour in the Big Apple. We are looking forward to some sunshine, Vivian, as we talked about, but it looks like as we work our way through this week, we're going to deal with a huge dose of spring. And this spring weather is going to bring temperatures close to 60 degrees by the time Thursday rolls around. Well, let's go ahead and throw it back to you now, Viv, in the studio. I'm sorry, Paul, let's throw it to you up in the expert desk. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Jim. What we're seeing now is a winter that really hasn't been able to put it together. We've had some winters where weather system seems to be able to come together and produce a lot of snow. This winter's been another case. Let's take a look at what's going on with this past system here. Normally in a snowy winter, as we had back in 95, 96, we see an interaction between two things. High pressure to the north allows cold air to come down, interacts with a disturbance coming from the west, and voila, you've got snow. We sort of had that situation yesterday across the Ohio Valley and moving into Pennsylvania and New York. But one thing that occurred with this system is that the upper level conditions associated with this high were a little bit too strong, and the system coming in from the west was moving a little bit too fast. Because it moved too fast, that system was suppressed to the south, and when it was suppressed to the south, we saw that precipitation weaken. So rather than seeing that precipitation move across the New York City metropolitan area towards southern New England and continue to seeing snowfall rates that produced 3 to 6 inches of snow, we saw that snowfall weaken, and this morning all we had was a very small area of snow, the last gasp of which is now working through New York City. So they'll see another hour or so of snow in New York, and then, as Jim mentioned, those springtime conditions will eventually be coming back. And perhaps by the end of the month, we'll start seeing more typical winter-like conditions. No guarantee. Back to the studio with Vivian.
Thanks very much, Paul and Jim. Here is the position of our low pressure off the coast of New Jersey. But the forecast map, midday hour, shows the center of our low pressure continuing to move away. So we are expecting some breaks later today. Of course, we've had the clouds to linger along the coast, but the sun will come out, we think, later on with a high of 40 degrees, New York. So all that has fallen, the snow, we think will start to melt later today, and no additional heavy accumulations as we go through the next couple of hours. AM snow in Philadelphia with a high of 43 and should get up to 47 today in D.C. You did not see the snow, and we've seen no snow in Boston. We're forecasting a high today in Beantown of 36, by the way. It's currently 26 in Boston, 33 New York, 35 in Philadelphia. We wake up to 40 in D.C., 27 in Elmira, New York, so a little colder as you head west and even colder as you head north with single digits in teens.
For only 4